بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. كلية إمام الكاظم، أقسام الديوانية، قسم اللغة إنجليزية، المرحلة الثانية، مادة ELT، تدريس محمد حسين بدري. Today we are going to talk about how to make language comprehensible to students. Okay, how to make language comprehensible to students as EFL teachers, as a teachers. Okay, so you as a teachers, we can also work at providing opportunities, chances for meaningful interaction by making language comprehensible to students. Okay, to make something comprehensible, understandable to students. If the language used by the teacher or in material is not comprehensible, students can lose interest. Okay, if the language used by the teacher, sometimes the teacher uses a language which is not comprehensible to students, or the material, the book, is not comprehensible to students. So students can lose interest, become anxious or frustrated, and sometimes become passive or inattentive. You see, when the language of the teacher, when the material is not comprehensible, students can lose interest, become more anxious or frustrated, and sometimes become more passive or inattentive. As such, it makes sense to work at making language comprehensible. So how can we solve this problem? So we have this problem. How can we solve this problem? You see, this problem, the problem is that sometimes the language of the teacher, the material, is not comprehensible to students, and the students feel anxious. They feel that they are frustrated. So, what is your job as a teacher? Your job is to what? To make language comprehensible. How to make language comprehensible? Here we have three points. You should take them into consideration when you want to simplify or to make your language comprehensible or to make your students understand you. Number one, simplify speech. From its name, simplify speech. It means that you make your speech simple. Use simple words. Add mediums. We will see what mediums you can add. Negotiate meaning. We will see how to negotiate meaning. So one by one we explain them. First, simplify speech. We can attempt to make language comprehensible to solve the problem. Okay, this is important. يعني نجي لك بالامتحان. Then high problem. And how to solve them? Go in three ways. Yes, we can attempt to make language comprehensible by simplifying our speech. How to simplify our speech? This is very, very important. When you become teachers, you have to remember this point, that you have to simplify your speech. This includes using a kind of foreign talk. A foreign talk, a simplified register or style of speech. This is what we mean by kind of foreign talk. It means what? It means a simplified style of speech. Simplified style, a simplified register of speech. Foreign talk, as it is sometimes used in the classroom, includes exaggerated pronunciation and facial expressions, slower speech rate, frequent uses of pauses, gestures, and sentence expansions. You see, all of them. واحد يقول, how can I make my language simple? You can make it doing the following. You see, include exaggerated pronunciation. Like me now, I exaggerate. مرات أعطي كلمة exaggerated pronunciation, I focus. Exaggerated pronunciation. What? Use facial expressions. Remember inside the class, when I talk with you, I use what? Facial expression. Okay? Slower speech rate, slower. Don't speak it quick. I mean, don't make your speech very quickly. انت ما جاي تعرض عضلاتك. يقولون انا احكي fluently بالانجليزي وتحكي بسرعة. Okay. Slower your speech rate. Don't speak very quickly. Okay? Because give your students time to think. Okay? To write notes. So slower your speech. Don't use a quick speech. Use facial expressions. What else? Exaggerated pronunciation. Frequented uses of pauses. Okay? Frequent uses of pause. Stop. شلون هالثاني توقفات. Stop. Frequent uses of pauses. Gestures. Using gestures. No gestures. Sentence expansion. Extend the sentence. Don't put it in a few words. Expand it to make it more comprehensible. And complete it or completing student sentences for them. Sometimes when the students speak, try to complete them. Okay? You see here how to simplify speech. Don't speak quickly. Try to exaggerate. Try to focus on certain words. Try to slow your speech. Use facial expressions. Use pauses. Sentence expansion and complete student sentences. We can also simplify materials as some writers of texts do. How they present students with authentic materials. How to, for example, this book, some of you say, for example, that this book is difficult. How can we simplify this? I can provide you with authentic materials, notes, newspapers, articles, textbook experts, crossword puzzles, maps, letters, advertisements, etc. Okay? But if we give these to the students, they will say, oh my God, you give them all these things, notes, newspaper, textbooks, cross. So we need. So you have to read something secondary. Okay? So sometimes if the book is difficult, if you are explaining something to your students in a difficult way, try to use maps, try to use letters, but they also simplify the language to their estimate of the student's level of comprehension. You see, this will simplify language. So I hope at this point is clear. Second, we can use or we can add media. So second, we can add media. What? Including what? Including those that are linguistic, oral speech. Media means speech. When you speak or you bring video, many means. So linguistic oral speech, linguistic oral means speech. Linguistic visual, visual means something printed. Or non-linguistic visual means pictures, objects, area. Non-linguistic oral means bird chirps, the sound of water, okay, flowing, the sound of the wind in the trees. And paralinguistics, gestures, eye contact, touch, distance, use of space, facial expressions. You see? These are the examples. Okay? Sometimes you need, for example, here, non-verbal communication, paralinguistic. This is paralinguistic sense. These are gestures. You see? They are gestures, they are facial expressions, they are non-verbal behavior. We have so many articles you can read on internet. Okay? See here, you see? Also, we have another. Here, teachers do you know how about different learning styles? This is style, as I told you. Okay? You see? Here we have pictures. See? Another. We have this video here. The teacher shows the students a video. You see here? These are different ways they are using the teachers. See? Here the teacher has a video and explaining them to the students. You see? This is what we mean by media. Add media. Okay, I hope the example are clear. So for example, if the students are to read an authentic restaurant menu and a text, the text linguistic visual print is too difficult for them, the teacher and the students can bring in or draw a picture of food or the menu, etc. You see the same examples here. For example, it is difficult for students to know facial expressions. It is difficult for students to know certain words or certain ideas. You can explain them by bringing picture, map. For example, they don't know the map. Iraq, where is Iraq? So you can bring them a map explaining that this is Iraq, this is Saudi Arabia, this is Turkey, Syria, Iran, okay, Kuwait, Japan. Or we don't have Japan. Okay, so or non-linguistics, you can write short description of different food, adding more linguistic visuals, etc. We have so many things. Using non-linguistic, it means here, for example, you can, when you talk to your students, you can use them by showing, for example, your eyes, open your eyes, by lips, okay, to show that something, to show you are surprised at something, or you are sad. This is facial expressions, etc. Number 3, we can work at making language comprehensible to students by negotiating meaning. How to negotiate meaning? The teacher can open up communication. These types of questions, can open communication by what? Asking questions that aim at clarification and confirmation. This is the point. How to make it comprehensible? How to negotiate meaning? By what? Asking questions. Remember the types of questions: clarification questions and confirmation. Use them. Use these as me. Now I am doing what? The same. I'm clarifying. I am clarifying for you, and I'm confirming. Okay? Use these questions. Is it clear? Clarify. Clarifying question. Remember them. Okay? These types of questions are useful for negotiating meaning for both the teacher and the students. When the students work at clarifying and confirming meaning, language can be more comprehensible to them. We finish with this, and we have this point. This is in sum. This is summary. هذا خلاصة. اوكي، تقدر انت تقراها حتى تفهم السابقات، مو شرط تحفظهن، بس انت السابقات كلهن تحفظهن، لكن هاي يعني just a summary يعطيك اياها. شوف to conclude this section: managing an interactive classroom question teachers can ask. To conclude this section on creating opportunities for interaction, I offer the following questions for you to ask yourself. هي ask yourself. انت اسأل نفسك كتيتشر، مثلا انت تصير teacher when you are a teacher. okay, then summary. then يعطيك in summary اخذناها هناك واحنا نريد الديتيلز مالتها. not only summary. For example, how much do I talk in the classroom? Remember this? What function does my talk serve? Does my talk seem to be productive and unproductive? Are there times when I don't need to talk? What are the purposes of my questions? Do I mostly ask students to display their knowledge, or do I ask students to discover and learn about what the students know and do? Do I ask questions to clarify and confirm understanding of what students have said? These are very important. You have to read them, understand, and you have to understand them. Why? In order to understand the whole chapter, you have to start from these questions. How long do I wait? Remember, wait time. After asking questions for the student to respond. If my wait time is short, about a second, can I expand the time I wait? Remember this? What happens when I do this? They are very important. I may bring you questions from this. ممكن أجيب لك أسئلة من ذني. لأن كل واحد عليهن سؤال. What is the content of my questions? Are the majority of my questions about the study of language? Remember the type and the content of the questions? Do I ask live personal and live general questions, questions about the study of things other than language itself. What consequences do questions with different content have on classroom interaction? What sitting arrangements, remember, do I use? Have I explored a variety of arrangements? What happens when I try out different sitting arrangements? Okay. Do the students stay on task during group work? If the students go off task, what do they talk about? Remember this? What language do they use? What are different ways to keep students on task? What happens when I use these ways? Okay, go back to the beginning of the chapter and read this. How do I make language comprehensible to students? We have just explained this. Do I simplify my speech or not? Or use, uh, for example, difficult words, speaking very quickly? Is this something good or what? No, it's not something not preferable. Something should not be done inside the classroom. If so, in what ways? Do I add media? How? Do I negotiate meaning? How? What happens when I try different ways to make language comprehensible to students? How do I group students? What are creative ways of grouping students? Remember, would I like to try? What are the consequences of different ways of grouping students? If we put the opposites, one who is fluent, one who is not fluent, one who is talkative, not talkative, etc. How do I give instructions? Remember giving instructions? Are my instructions clear to the students? How can I give instructions differently? What happens when I give instructions differently? Okay, these questions are very important. You can ask yourself each one of them and go back and find the explanation for each question. Okay, I think today is our lecture is not full of much information that you will be bothered by. Okay, just it is a review only, first page, and this just review. Okay, you can go back and read well. Okay, we have only one lecture and we will finish with this chapter. Okay, if you have any question you can ask. Thank you so much.